You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on...
You are not Furina.
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to
Focalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. The heavenly principle.
Deceiving the heavenly principle?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria, for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than she knew full well that the prophecy, and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit the heavenly principles. Allow the prophecy... I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why... Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be...
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by each...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do. Even after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive, and the me you see before you now is that divinity. And she could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Furina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in anyway, so all part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive... Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Furina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy under the curse I placed on her. So long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady. I suppose now you probably understand what...
But Furina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me, it's been far, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Stop right there!
Torn to oblivion!
I'm going in!
Shine down!
You asked for it! Propagate! Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Let's light it up! Propagate! Germinate!
Shine down! Inazuma shines eternal!
Furina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're mirror me?
Mirror you.
Mirror me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will all be dissolved into the waters. And
Oh.
what's going on? But doesn't that mean everyone will die?
Oh, don't worry. I will tell you how to save.
Oh, so there's still hope. As for the suffering, but if the prophecy if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other.
I suppose this would.
Huh?
Don't worry. It's nothing. Listen well.
Play as.
That's right. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of But don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real being, a human. Remember, you
So, how
do a but I promise.
a trial? Huh? How? The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. What should I say to most appear like a god? I'm sure you've all. In truth, I know little about as the god Focalor, the god once again. Thank you. This, I thought I might.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses you.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going right. Mere me. Calm down, Furina. Assertive. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were... Well, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. Now then...
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were in...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, we have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer... The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. There is no trouble in this world that so long as
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Furina, here are today's case reports as...
Besides, none of these...
if I may be so
A magnificent, dramatic...
That's true, I fear I lack the ability...
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Furina.
No need. All right.
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen...
Oh, you're such a gentle...
Lady Furina, here are the latest hydrological reports.
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, all manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to...
Well, as I understand...
Really?
I'm...
Oh, is that so? The day is finally over. But it's good to see that everything's getting on. Maybe this is fine.
Lady Furina, here are the new
There'll be no...
Lady Furina.
Indeed, my dear.
Lady Furina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. I feel utterly...
Lady Furina, I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with...
What?
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god.
No wonder. A manifestation.
So interminable. Hundreds of years must I never imagined, have I? I want to tell someone. I've conducted so many investigations. All I can do is keep heart.
Furina, you don't have to shoulder this, although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more...
Share, that's impossible. It was.
But even if your burden doesn't need to just share...
A witness. And if Tevat is in its entirety. She's right. But if things don't know, Furina. But what if, Furina, is it such if you let this think about it long and hard? No, I have nothing to say. All you need to do, dear spectator, is...
Fine.
So even Furina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must... She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even... It seems that trusting
I believe that I understand how your deception works. How would you build on this foundation to save the people?
Ah, good. Of course the Eudex of Fontaine has I'm sure you've long sensed that...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human. It now seems that that person was you.
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem... Alas, in truth, it is no enactor of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the oratories take down the god of justice... I mean, did you think I would be my work over these last 500 years? But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the vast majority had to be.
It was all a part of your plan then?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne.
So the oratrice's call for death was for neither Furina nor Focalor. The destruction of that divine throne.
Returning what's rightfully yours. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet. Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
All you've done throughout the years is...
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons. I, for my part, am the god. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the in other words, existence was Egeria's justice, defying the prophecy. At this point, we, Iudex Nervil.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now at last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of you are things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Iudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved...
It's time to end this.
But, can you say just a moment?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.